Welcome all to this tutorial. Today I will demonstrate how to use zHire to create an account over 3 different services without actually doing any sort of repetition of whatsoever. So what I'm going to do today is create an account for Active Directory, for Exchange, and for Lync. The procedure is pretty much the same if you want to run a custom script or if you want to create an account for Office 365 or for SalesForce, depending on what you need. Sometimes you will need perhaps just Lync and SalesForce. Sometimes you will need Exchange Mailbox and Active Directory, etc. But rather instead, what we want to do here is focus on these 3 and see the procedure in general. Once you know the procedure, it's the same for whatever you needed. You will be able to create them. You'll be able to create the accounts across your services without any sort of problems. You will be able to custom tune what I show you in order to fit your needs flawlessly and with great ease. So let us begin with the environmental configuration, with the configuration of our environment, and then we'll go into user configuration, and then as a last option or a second to last option, we will actually input the user variables or user information, and down below we will select for which services do we want this user to be created. Furthermore, upon doing this, what we will do then is create a template. Well, the template is already created, but all we need to do is actually save all the things that will be repetitive into a template so that we don't have to type them in later. And the beauty of it is that you can just, let me just minimize this, that you can just do this, and here you have zHire. You can just go ahead and copy this. You can copy it to pretty much anywhere, and then you will have those templates with you. You will have zHire. So for example, if you want to change your administration machine, all you need to do is go ahead and copy it, and on a different machine you will have the same settings, everything with in terms of zHire. All you will need to do is just run it up again, and it's gonna go, it's gonna fly, it's gonna work without any problems of whatsoever. So let's open up zHire. Let's actually just zoom in or zoom out the zHire, and here we're gonna continue on with these options. So for Active Directory, I'm gonna go ahead, and for new users for the Active Directory we need to set the OU. So let's go ahead and click on this underline, and here you can actually, for the organizational units, you don't need to know these things at all. You just need to have an approximate idea, and then you can have basically just click on the underline right next to the option, and then you will get prompted with a list of options. So just select what you need from the options. They are very good reminders of where things need to be, because as soon as you read it, you will pretty much immediately know, okay, I want it there. So let's go ahead and close that. Down below you have UPN suffix. Again, just open it up, and for the 3 dots on the right side of the well, it's on the right actually. These 3 dots that are grayed out, just go ahead and click on them, and you will be prompted here with a list of options. Go ahead and pick one, whatever is suitable for the time for your environment. Anyway, let's go ahead and close this. Down below you have a default passwords or a default password. Let's just go ahead and see what we can do with it. Now we have a lot of options here. For example, we can specify the length. We can say, do we want our passwords to include lowercase letters or uppercase letters or numbers and symbols? And then you can click on generate to generate different passwords. You see the one that I have generated here. It's a bit ridiculous. This is nothing a human person would use, although I have seen people use all sorts of passwords. But it doesn't matter, because that's only the default password for the user that we are about to create. So go ahead and click after you've decided what you want here. Please make sure that these specifications that you enter here match the password rules on the service where the user is going to be created. So please keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and now I will tick must change password at next logon. So this password will become completely invalid upon the first user logon, because they will absolutely need to change it. Although passing a password such as mine that I have generated here to a user will probably land you a phone call at technical support, probably because somebody doesn't know how to type it or something of a kind. It's not a bad idea to keep these default passwords as simple as possible. So just maybe lowercase letters, uppercase letters, and numbers would be fine without any symbols or anything of a kind. In addition to this, you also have username formats. Here in the username formats, you will be able to automate a certain portion, to automate the creation of certain portion of user information, 4 fields in total. So SAM account name, display name format, CN format, and UPN format. These things will be derived from first name, last initials, last name, so you won't have to type them in manually yourself. This will save you a great deal of time. Let me just show you how this is done. So SAM account name, just go ahead and click on these 3 dots, select a format here, and then down below you have an example. Let me just select a different format, perhaps this one without the initials, and there you go, it changes. So let's go ahead and select the last one, and again it is changed. Click on save. I have reverted back to the initials one. Just go ahead and click on save so that the program will remember. Down below you have display name format, 3 dots here as well. Just go ahead and click on it. Again, you have options here. Select the one that you like, take a look in the example and see if that is convenient for your purpose. The same procedure applies for CN as well. No big deal there. Same thing, you would pretty much use the same things, and down below the UPN name has 3 options in total, so you can just pick whatever is suitable for your purpose there. Go ahead and close that. Oops. Or save it depending on what you have chosen. And let's see what happens when we type in first name, initials, last name. So in the first name we will type in, let's type in Zachno, and in the initials part we will go ahead and type in Z.T. Last name will be test. Down below you can see that these 4 fields have been indeed created for us. So you have SAM account name, UPN, CN, display name, all 4 fields have been created. Now you might think, okay, this is no big deal, but think of it in this fashion. You have one account which you wish to create across 3 services. So 3 times you would need to type in 4 fields. That's 12 fields in total that you would need to type in. Now imagine that you had to create 10 users and try to calculate how many fields would you have to actually fill in there. That's a lot of wasted time typing in repetitive information over and over again. Rather instead, with ZHire, you will be able to just go ahead and automate that process and save yourselves a lot of time and nerves. Anyway, I won't exactly use these formats now. I will type in these fields manually for the sake of this tutorial, but I wanted to show you and demonstrate how you can actually use username formats in order to automate the generation of these particular fields, to automatically generate the fields. Anyway, now we need to go down below into the user configuration. So there are a lot of variables here for Active Directory. You have 3 tabs, and then you have the 4th one as groups, so you can actually select groups here as well. Now let's just stick to the first tab and see what we can do here. So for example, Office. If you are creating users for various services that are from the same office, you do not want to go from one service to another, like from Active Directory to Exchange and then to Lync, then every single time you're going to type in the office name, and that office name is going to be exactly the same every single time. For the sake of demonstration, I have only typed the office name West, but if you go ahead and click on this grayed out marking, you will see that there are other offices that I can pick without any problems here that have been previously created. I did not intend to use any of these here. I'm just going to type in my own. But as I said, if you have them previously created, you can select them from here. It will save you a lot of time. So let's go ahead and close this. Street number, okay, you can type that in as well. I've omitted it in this demonstration, but again, customize this to your needs, to what you need. I am doing this demonstration, and I have filled in the variables that are suitable for me. So city, they'll most likely from the same city or from the state. def if these things are repetitive, you can put them in here. Unfortunately, if you have employees from 50 different cities in one place in one office, this could get a bit hazy. But anyway, postal code, again, you probably won't need to change that. Country, you have United States. I've placed here United States, but again, there is a wide variety of countries that you can pick here, so that's not a big deal. It is very likely that a large amount of your employees are going to be from the same country. So what you don't want to be doing is typing in United States for every single user that you create on every single service. Down below you have fax, IP phone. You can even create an account on Active Directory as disabled, which is interesting. Password never expires, and you can also set the expiration date for your account, for the account that you have created. For example, if you, I don't know, if you have created an account for testing purposes, or if you have outsourced something and you have given access to your resources to somebody, you can schedule an expiration date for that account. So just in case you forget to delete it, you can schedule an expiration date so that the account would actually self-terminate. Down below we have a description I have placed in here, shall we dance, so it's rather recognizable when later on we take a look at it, because there will be other users that have been previously created. Down below I have typed in for the name of the company Zochno. That's the company that is providing ZHire. Department finance, I don't know, manager. I've literally typed in not random. But again, an interesting feature here is that you can select from pre-existing values. So you can select the company attribute here. I don't have any created, but it doesn't matter. If you have it on your server, you will be able to select them. And also for the department, so you see, I think I made this one test 01, and down below there's an IT department, and down below there's finance department. So I've actually selected finance. For manager, I don't know if it's configured on the server. Again, you can actually select them from here and save you a lot of typing. Next up, what we shall do is take a look at the Exchange. So for Exchange, we're not going to enter any user configuration down below. That's fine. I've just entered the environment configuration, and for Lync as well. I just wanted the user to be created for demonstrative purposes. Pretty much very similar things as with Active Directory. You can just keep on adding variables that you would normally be able to add when creating a user manually. So pretty much all the same options are here, except you have them here all in one place, and you can say that they apply to all of your services. Anyway, specify home folder path. You can even give it a script to run. In tab 3, again, you see how many of these options you have, and last, I suppose, but not least, is the Active Directory groups. And then you have user configuration for Exchange, for Lync, and so on and so forth. Custom scripts, Office 365, etc. Let's go back up. The thing that we want to do now is save this. Because what good is all of this if we will have to retype it again at a certain point of time? We do not want to be doing that. That is a time wasting activity. What we want now is to actually save this template and be able to reuse it later on. And then we will actually type in these values. I've shifted the schedule a little bit, but doesn't really matter. I'm sure you get the idea. So go ahead and click on File, and if you click on Save Configuration, all of this will be saved to your currently selected template. So we have template 2 here. Just click on Save Configuration, and it will be saved to template 2. If you don't want it to be called template 2, you can rename the template if you wish with this option. You can delete the template with this option, and you can definitely add a template. But let's go ahead and see what happens when we save it. So we are saving this configuration to template 2. Configuration saved to template 2. Okay, thank you very much. And let's go ahead and switch to some other template. Let's say 5. There you go, it's empty. And now if we switch to template 2, all the values magically reappear. So this is not a very good name for a template. Template 2 doesn't really tell us much about it. How shall we name this? this is for you. Okay, I would advise you to give a meaningful template name so that later on you know what it is referring to. But I will just name it so. I think it's, I don't know. My imagination came up with this, so blame my imagination if you wish. Over here, you have user information. So for user information, we will go ahead and start typing in our values. So I will name Zohno z.t Zohno. Oh, sorry. We shall name this test and Zohno test. Doesn't really matter for me what I type in here. I can type in pretty much whatever I wish, but you won't be able. Primarily because SAM account name, unique username, you will be able to verify is this available or not. So just go ahead and click for availability. Display name, UPN, I'm just going to put the same values. I don't think it's that important. You can also type in desk phone and mobile phone. We'll skip that for now. If you need them, feel free to type them in. And now I will select the services. So Active Directory, I want them to be created for in Active Directory, for Exchange, and for Lync. Go ahead and click on Create Accounts. And that is literally it. There is nothing else that you need to do. You will not be asked 10 million questions afterwards after you've clicked Create Accounts. Rather, instead, they will simply be created down at the in the bottom right corner. You will see a green status bar, and in the bottom left corner, you will see a sign or an inscription. It says completed. The green status bar is very difficult to catch because it finishes really fast. It is a fast software after all. So let's scroll down. I have opened up a remote desktop connection. I just keep it open actually. And here I have the Exchange Admin Center. So let us go ahead and verify that the user does indeed exist in Exchange. So Zohno should be down somewhere at the bottom, I think. To scroll down. There it is. So the last, literally, is this the last user in line? Is it? It is. Okay, so we have created our user in Exchange. You can see that it exists. It's Zohno test actually. And let's go ahead, let's go over to Lync and see is it actually there. Let's go over to users. Let's search for it. Zohno. Find. There we go. It does exist as well. It is enabled. I've typed in the address and registrar pool, but I have also disabled the telephony for it. But I mean that is all in the options section. You can do whatever you want there. It's completely up to you. The options that you have there are exactly the same as the options that you would have if you were to manually create a user. So you have all the same options and you can fill them up there instead of actually manually going from one service to the other. One more thing remains to be verified. Let's go over to the Active Directory. I'm opening up my server manager for Windows 2012 R2, so these things are being tested out on the latest software. Apologies, I have opened up a DNS one. Active Directory users and computers. Let's see if it would please come on, open. There we go. Let's go ahead and search for Zohno test. And there we go. Zohno test has indeed been created. It does exist with all the following attributes. Of course, as I said before, for Lync, we could have added a great deal more attributes, but for the demonstration purposes, I do believe that this is enough. For anything that is unclear, or if you need help with your product or something of a kind, go over to www.zohno.com and their tech support will be right on the spot. They will jump at the problem and they will help you out to a very large extent in any way they can. As far as this tutorial is concerned, that would be it. I would like to bid you all farewell and a ton load of luck with your configurations and usage of ZHire.